The Nostradamus of US elections revealed who's gonna win 2024. He correctly predicted every president since 1984, and people cannot believe his answer, let alone who I'm gonna be voting for. Nicknamed after the 16th century French astrologer who's been widely attributed to predicting countless world events, Allan Lichtman is a historian with a PhD from Harvard, who developed an insanely accurate prediction system for American elections he called the Keys to the White House, which contains 13 keys, simple true or false statements that have accurately predicted every president for the last 40 years. Well, almost every. Starting in 1982, Allan called that Ronald Reagan would win, and in 1984, he did. 1988, he chose George H.W. Bush, another dub. Predicted Bill Clinton in 1992, who won again, and so on. Until we get to the year 2000, where he predicted that Al Gore was gonna win, but as you may know, Bush ended up taking that one. But there is a bit of an asterisk on that one. Al Gore did win the popular vote in 2000, meaning he got more votes than Bush in total. He just ended up losing in the Electoral College system of votes, which determines the actual winner, and is the first time it happened since 1888, over 100 years earlier. So I guess Allan kind of let it slide and gave himself the W for that year due to the popular vote, but others claim he missed that one. What's really impressive is that if we apply his system to the 32 presidents before 1984, we find that his keys would have predicted all but 2 presidents correctly. 30 out of 32. 94% accurate ain't so bad. And those 2 presidents also happen to have won the popular vote but lost in the Electoral College, just like in 2000, which has only ever happened 5 times in history. Lichtman went on to predict Trump in 2016 and Biden in 2020. Win-win, and people started to take notice. Because before 2016, no one really knew who he was, but now all eyes are on him. His system of 13 true or false keys have proven to be pretty accurate. They're simple, but often debated on whether each one actually is true or false. Majority true means the current party in power will stay. More false means the opposing party will take the White House. Everyone waited to hear what he had to say about the 2024 election between Trump and Harris, and this is how he broke it down. Please note, the following are the opinions of historian Allan Lichtman, not my own, so if you disagree with any of them, let him know. Key number 1, midterm gains. The party in power gained seats after the last midterm election. In 2022, they did not. Point for Trump. Key number 2, incumbency. The current sitting president is running for re-election. Biden dropped out. Another point for Trump. Key number 3, no primary contest. The current party in power has no other serious nominee considerations over their chosen candidate. Harris has no real competition against her within her own party. Point for her. Key number 4, no third-party challenger. No significant third-party or independent candidate is in the race. According to Lichtman, RFK Jr. was the only one that met this criteria, and he dropped out of the race. This key is true, which is a point for Harris. 4 keys in, and we're 2 and 2. It's about to get crazy. Key number 5, short-term economy. There is a strong short-term economy, and we're not in a recession. Apparently, according to the numbers, we're not in a recession. True key, another point for Harris. Key number 6, long-term economy. Growth in the economy in the current term has been at least as good or better than it was in the last 2 terms, which again, according to the numbers, is technically true. But some argue the numbers are artificially inflated due to extended forced closures we had back in 2020. Hey, I ain't here to argue politics, we're here to predict the future. But again, point for Harris. Key number 7, policy changes. The party in power has made major changes to national policy. Lichtman claims Biden signed many new bills during his term, so this key is true, point for Harris again. Key number 8, social unrest. There have been no major national protests nor disagreements during the term. He also claims that's true. Point for Harris, this one's gonna ruffle some feathers, moving on. Key number 9, no scandal. There have been no scandals involving the current leaders in the White House. Family members of leaders don't count. According to Lichtman, this key is again true. Points for Harris all around. 9 keys in, and we got 2 points for Trump and 7 for Harris. Is he gonna make a comeback? Key number 10, incumbent charisma. The current party's candidate is extremely once-in-a-generation level charismatic and charming. Lichtman himself and probably many others agree Kamala Harris is not. Point for Trump. Key number 11, challenger charisma. The challenger to the White House is uncharismatic. Lichtman says Trump is too divisive to be considered charismatic on paper and therefore fails this key, giving it to Harris. Keys number 12 and 13 are about foreign policy failures and successes respectively, and Lichtman claims could flip either way at any moment. But if you may have noticed, we're currently at 8 points for Harris and 3 for Trump so far. Even if Trump wins these last 2 keys, Harris still wins the majority of them, meaning that Kamala Harris is officially Allan Lichtman's prediction for the U.S. presidential election of 2024. Wow. Grab your popcorn, this comment section about to be a f***ing movie. As for me, who am I gonna be voting for in this year's presidential election? As much as I hate talking personal politics on here, and I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for this, but in the 2024 US presidential election, I am going to be voting for nobody because I live in Canada and can't legally vote in US elections. But for all you Americans out there, remember to vote. Whether you support Lichtman's prediction or want to prove him wrong for the first or second time, the future of your country is in your hands.